Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome into the channel. Thanks for joining me. And tax season is over. Everybody had to have their taxes in by yesterday at midnight, unless you opted for the extension and paid for the fee or whatever it is that they get you for. Mine went in on Friday. I got mine in last week. Took care of both of our businesses, mine and Kate's photography. But what I thought was important, I thought it was super important that everyone knew how to get their numbers in line and kind of what it looks like when you get 1099s. A lot of you freaked out over all this 1099 stuff, but it's really nothing to freak out about. I'm going to show you some of mine that I got in paper and some that I got digitally. Some of them just get emailed. Some of them actually come to my house, or my P.O. box rather. And I just want to show you what they look like and what you need to do your taxes and how it actually plays out when it's tax time, so that this year you have a little bit easier of an understanding getting your stuff together. And most of you are worried about getting a 1099. I actually get like 8 of them or 9 of them, whatever it was. I have 4 right here, and I think I have 4 or 5 digitally. So remember, I'm getting a 1099 from eBay, from Amazon, and from Shopify, because I do enough on all 3 of those platforms per the 20,000 last year to get 1099s. Also from YouTube, also from List Perfectly, who pays me to be their sponsor, clearly. Mark II, who also pays me, who's a sponsor. My Reseller Genie, who is also a sponsor of this channel. So that's 7 of them. And then I believe Amazon Affiliates is a different 1099 than my Amazon sales one. I think I got 2 from them. eBay Partner Network, I don't really make enough on there, and I didn't sell enough on there, but Amazon Affiliates I did. So I'm just going to give you a look at the 1099s. I'm getting my actual 1099s. I'll blur out all my social security number, all that stuff. This will also, a lot of people are like, he doesn't sell anything, he doesn't make any money, yet there's the 1099s, right? So I'll show you these. I'll show you what they're made up of, what you get, and then I'll show you what you actually need to kind of offset and explain these 1099s when you file your taxes. So let's go take a look at them, and then we'll go in more depth of exactly what they mean and how they break down and how you can actually file your taxes very, very easily, maybe with the help of even a CPA like Mark II, not your dad's CPA. Let's take a look at them. Okay, so the very first one is List Perfectly. I'll put it up there. All the information is blurred out. That's just the name of the company, List Perfectly. Under that is all of our addresses, social securities. To the right is 2021. Obviously, it's what I did last year. And then 1099 NEC, which just means non-employee compensation. Under that is the compensation box. Now, I'm not going to give out how much I make for List Perfectly or how much they pay me. That's privacy, and I don't want to get into that. I do make a fair amount of money from them, but I don't want to put them out there on the spot or anything like that. But anyhow, that's just what a 1099 is, and that's literally all that it gives you. It's just that it cost, or that they paid me X amount of money. There's no other information, right? Like on a non-employee compensation. So when people are like, oh, I gotta have my 1099s, you don't. Like, you should know that number. Every month that List Perfectly pays you, or every year, or whoever it is, you should be tracking that. So you should be able to pull up your software, your Excel sheet, and say, X amount of money came in. It should match this 1099 sheet. And then you should be able to have that without them even sending you a 1099. Because what if you didn't hit the threshold? Remember, it used to be $20,000 on eBay or Amazon or whatever. What if you did $15,000? Well, you don't get to not file your $15,000, but you're not going to get one of these 1099s showing you that it was $15,000. You need to know that number. You have to have been tracking that. So that's one. Let's move on to the second one. And the second one is going to be... this one's going to be from PayPal. So remember, there's no eBay earnings in PayPal because they did away with that. I've had managed payments for almost 3 years, I think. So this is just money that I brought in direct sales, maybe selling remote boxes directly, or training programs, or if somebody bought something off of me from Facebook or Instagram and I sent them a PayPal invoice, that's what would show up on here. And so again, you guys can see it's a 1099K. They're a payment processor, so they're a little different than a company that just sends you money. If it's a 1099K, it means they were like processing. If it's a 1099 NEC, it's just somebody sending you money. So you can see it's PayPal Incorporated, worldwide sales. I blurred out the rest. And over there on the right, 2021. And you guys can see in the first 1A box from PayPal alone, $113,483.05. That's just what I collected from PayPal. And if you look, what's interesting on PayPal, they actually break it down by the month. And you guys can see January, February, March, April, I did 6,400, 4,600, 13,000, 20,000, 12,000, 6,000, 54, 16. And the big swings in money just means I must have had some pallets come in that month that I sold a ton of inventory. Because normally I do 6,000, 7,000, 5,000, 6,000 is normal, 8,000. but then I have my big $15,000 to $20,000 months. So that actually breaks it down. But again, this is gross sales. It doesn't show me how much that stuff costs for me to ship out to a customer, or how much the 2.9% fee that PayPal charges was part of that 113,000. So I didn't make 113 grand. I sold 113 grand on PayPal, but how much did I spend in shipping and PayPal fees? Well, that's what you have to track using a program like My Reseller Genie. You can use an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Sheet, but it's not going to calculate and do things just like a My Reseller Genie would do, in addition to tracking your inventory that Genie does. So you guys kind of see that these 1099s, people like gasped when I said they're worthless. Like, yes, it's great to know I did that number, but at the same time, what does it matter if it doesn't have all my fees and all my stuff? I have to track that stuff. That's what you guys have. A lot of you have a problem understanding, is that you actually have to track all of that. So now let's take a look at the third one. And this one is from a company called XXVI Holdings Incorporated, Amphitheater Parkway, and they're in Mountain View, California. I don't care about their address. And this is actually YouTube. XXV1 Holdings is actually YouTube Incorporated. Their address is public, so that's why I don't care about doing it out. You guys can see that's my name. And to the right, royalties. So royalties were paid on a 1099 miscellaneous. That's another one that's different. And it was $35,901. So you guys now know I make $36,000 last year on YouTube, which I've always told you guys, it's between $3,000 and $4,000 a month. Now, they don't break it down monthly, but I can pull the records if I had to. Now, with YouTube, there's no shipping. There's no cost of goods. There's no fees. It's just, that's all profit. The thing with YouTube is you get to deduct, if I bought a new microphone, or I bought a new camera, webcam, or if I bought something to produce YouTube videos with, an editing software cost me $300 or whatever it is. All that can be expenses and deductions that I need a list of. So again, this could be as simple as, this is all your money. I made all that money on YouTube, and that's the 1099 that they send me. And so I have that record, like, okay, box A, how much money did I make from YouTube? 36 grand. But then in the other boxes, I have to be able to put down those expenses. And so that's what's really important, is that you guys understand that, as great as it is, like, okay, fantastic, we got 1099s. They don't give you everything that you need, and you need a program like a My Reseller Genie, or at the bare minimum, an Excel Google Sheet that you can put in your income in the left, like YouTube income each month, and have 12 payments from YouTube, 12 payments from List Perfectly, 12 payments from whatever, or daily, weekly payments from eBay. And then on the right, what all the fees and the shipping labels and the cost of goods cost you. So that's why people got all up in arms about, Casey, Rockstar said that 1099s are worthless. To me, they're worthless. I don't even need these. Like, great, they just go in the drawer. I already know these numbers. They're in my program. They're in my software, and I track them. So as soon as I open up my software, I could blindfold myself and go, okay, I made 36,000 on YouTube, and somebody could open the 1099 and go, yep, it matches. And sometimes they're a little off. I tend, if it's close, I'll go by the official paper, because this is what was sent to the IRS. This is what the IRS got a copy of. So I will go with that. That means either my program or my software, or I might have typoed something, and I'll try to go back and maybe figure it out. I don't spend a ton of time on it, because I'm still going to enter. If one says 36,000 and mine says 35.5 and it's off by 500, I'm putting 36 in there, because that's the number, right? And then my expenses will offset it, and it is what it is. If there's a drastic difference, it's not unheard of that a 1099 would be incorrect, so I will go look for that. But this year, I didn't find any drastic differences, a few bucks here and there, and I just went ahead and put the 1099 numbers in. So that's where we're at. That's what 1099s look like. That's my real tax filings in 1099s. That's my real actual income. Now, again, like I said, that doesn't show my Amazon. It doesn't show my Shopify. It doesn't show my eBay. It doesn't show my Amazon affiliates. It doesn't show what I made for Mark II, who's the Not Your Dad's CPA. He's pays me basically to advertise his services. You guys know that. He's a sponsor of this channel. He's amazing. He's the best CPA there is. And so all of that, my Robinhood, my crypto sales, I had almost 60,000 in crypto sales. In fact, let's just go over and I'll show you guys like a couple examples on my screen. Okay, so here's just like a sample I filed through H&R Block. I always use that, of a Schedule C, profit and loss. And literally the top one is just gross receipts and sales. So this is just the total of all your sales, like everything, all calculated up, right? Like that's all they want. It's just one total number. No matter how many platforms you sell on, what were the total sales that you did? And so for this particular year, which was actually 3 years ago, this was 2020, and I was actually calculating what I had sold in 2019 because I filed this in 2020. It was almost $241,000. And you can see at the top, I've got Direct Selling, Worldwide Sales LLC. That's my company. The rest is just all my personal information blacked out. But then you can see what I spent down here, each expense line. Look, how much did you spend in car and truck expenses? That's mileage, that's maintenance, that's tolls, that's driving, gas, all that stuff. Here's depreciation of materials. That means, what did you buy? Did you buy a new computer? Did you buy a new camera? Did you buy light kits? That year I bought quite a bit. You can see contract labor. How much did I pay people to help me? Like, did I pay a VA? Did I pay people to do listings? Yes, I spent almost 15 grand on that. Mortgage, insurance, or interest paid. Yes, I paid $320 for that. I paid $78 in meals and entertainment. I never really claimed that much. $560 in supplies. That year was probably just boxes, not really boxes, but bubble wrap and envelopes. I spent $560 on that stuff. Other expenses, $31,620. Other expenses would have been my shipping labels. It would have been my fees. It would have been all that sort of stuff added up. So then all that adds up to a total amount of fees that you've paid, like a total amount of expenses, and then you're left with certain numbers. And so that's where all of that stuff comes from. You have a line for your cost of goods sold. $56,000 is what it cost me. About 22% cost of goods sold, give or take 24%, I think. So that's what you have to know. Okay, let's take a look at a couple other little things. So Robinhood Crypto, this again, everything blacked out at the top, but this is some stuff I traded on Robinhood. I did $60,000 worth of sales on Robinhood. I have to report that now as crypto. How much you paid for all of those, how much you profited, all that sort of stuff. I hold a lot of it. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's go to... this is probably just another one. Yep, just another Schedule C. This was 2018, so about 4 years ago, $190,000, almost $200,000 there. And again, just the same expenses. And so you guys kind of get an idea of what all of my tax files, and I keep these files. I have tax files, I have tax years, I have sales tax files. I keep all of this stuff just saved on the computer so that I can quickly reference it, quickly pull the numbers up, and then download my reports and put it all in and file my taxes very, very easily. So that's where we're at. That's the tax 1099, Schedule C's, everything that you need to know and everything that you should be tracking. And if you need help with that, my Reseller Genie will be linked down below along with a discount code. And of course, Mark II, Not Your Dad's CPA, I'll link his website down below with a discount code as well. So either of those resources are available to you in the description box below to make sure that your 2022 goes smooth. So next year, 2023, you can file taxes without any issues. All right, guys, I'll leave you there. Have a wonderful night. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.